Okay, so my name is Nick. I'm from Ukraine originally, and we founded Onepage together. Can you hear me well, by the way? Yeah, nice. Founded Onepage together with Marcel back in 2019, and now you're all here, and we are proud to welcome you, and it's a lot of you, to be honest. And as you might see, this speech today is in English, and I have to assure you it's pretty complicated because English is not my native language, same as yours. So I have to think what I'm saying and think how I'm going to be saying this. So in case you understand me well, please raise your hands up. Wow. And in the shops, they claim they don't know English. Okay. So as you might see, we split responsibilities with Marcel. So Marcel's the CEO. He's taken responsibility of general business and then marketing. And me and my team, we do the product. And the product is not only development, but also all the decision considering UX, your experience, all this stuff is included. So today I'm going to be speaking about the product, while Marcel is mostly about the marketing. Then briefly about my experience, like really briefly, I have 7 years of working in agencies, running a own agency, and then managing major accounts across an international holding of 9 agencies, and that meant that at the time, I was like 22, 23, I was the head of digital in the holding, and all the major accounts of these brands, the CIS branches, so it's Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all the stands at the time were under my responsibilities, kind of. I believe most of those exist in Germany as well, especially BMW. I think you invented it. And then finally, we made Onepage evolve from one-man show. So this is literally our first office and our first 2 team members who are, by the way, still around because we have a great and dedicated team. And I think it's 2019 maybe, and you can literally see how we are producing our first bugs here. And then we evolved to a tool that is being used by thousands of businesses in Europe, and it's pretty accurate because this year we outgrown and expanded out of German-speaking markets, and we are everywhere in Europe right now, and I can be proud more of it, and I can be proud more of that you came here. So today we talk about how to get more from Onepage when your first goals are accomplished. So we've checked all of the profiles of who's coming, and I can assure you, so it's a pretty mature audience. Most of you are not newbies in Onepage, so this speech today is kind of tailor-made for you. So whatever you do, whatever the size of business is, whatever your stage is, you will be getting out of there with some insights, I believe. So you've built some pages. Probably you've tried quizzes or you're actively working with quizzes. Who's actively working with quiz funnels right now? Okay, 30%. Then you maybe tried some link trees and stuff after the pages and quizzes. Then you maybe set up an email or 2. Who does the emails? A little bit, you should try one. The question is, what's next? Because you paid for the subscription, you did all that you need. Is it everything? And the answer is no. So in the room today, it's mostly established businesses, and 90% are service businesses, which is important. So the service businesses is like agencies, all sorts of services, and if you're not in the category, don't be disappointed. I think you will still have a takeaway out of my presentation. Then the question, and here is my topic. So it comes out of this one nice insight, and it sounds like this. So what did the fast-growing service businesses do in 2022, including Onepage customers? So it's like a general trend, but I see this a lot by Onepage customers that are doing this, to grow fast. And those steps that still work perfectly, they will work perfectly in 2023, 24, 25, I believe, because it's never ending, and soon you will understand why. So again, what did fast-growing service businesses do in 2022 to grow fast? And most importantly, how to accelerate your growth by integrating Onepage more into your workflow. Today we'll dive into a little, so it's kind of a little bit of a breakdown. It's going to be 2022 analytics and facts. I will provide you a little bit of information that we kind of like, that comes out of our internal analytics of all the customers that we have, also not in Germany, not in Switzerland, not in Austria, but in some other countries. Then there will be 5 actionable steps to grow significantly in 2023. And at this stage of your companies, you might have accomplished a 2 or 3, sometimes 1 step, but I can assure you, I never saw in Onepage, and we know all of you, that someone had actually accomplished all 5. So it's gonna be insightful for you. And then what's a productized brand is, and how to transform yours into it in 2023, which is the main topic, and how to use Onepage as your white label powerhouse. So my speech today is divided into 2 blocks, and it's going to be theory and practice. First, we start with some necessary theory, even if some of you already know that, and then we dive into practical blocks. So the first block, which is right now, will be a little bit smaller. Don't be disappointed if it ends up like a Netflix series. This is like the most interesting thing, and you have a lot of questions. It's for a reason, because it can be pretty overwhelming all of the time. So, ready? Let's go. A fact of 2022, most performance service businesses were building productized brands. The whole speech today is about productized brands. Is a known term. You can take a photo. I mean, it's your takeaway. You can Google it afterwards. It exists. So it was mentioned by Forbes, by Deloitte, by many like analysts, audits, whatever. But it's somehow hidden. So not everyone knows about this, and that's why I'm talking about that. And by most performing, I mean that we take the companies in Onepage and group them by KPIs. So those are fastest growing, most like leads producing, pages producing, traffic producing, and so on. So I will provide you with the simple numbers right now. It's average service business compared to top performing by cohorts. So we make these cohorts by grouping top performing businesses, take away the KPIs, and we do the median, and this is a cohort, and then we have the average median. This is a pretty interesting slide. So the top 1%, actually it's not accurate, it's like rather top 3%, in average has 36 projects in Onepage, while an average is 4. It's like all together. In the top 1% has more or less 117 pages for them and for customers, in case there is any page building included, while an average is 23. And then most interesting is probably the leads. So the most performing ones receive somehow about 300 leads per month, while the average is like 21 leads per month. And by 21, I mean there are some companies that actually serve customers, and it's all together for them and for customers, 21 leads, which is not too many. What is the difference? What made a difference? It's somehow 5 to 15 times difference. It's 2 words. It's productized brands that top performing ones managed to build. And I can assure you, no matter the industry, it's marketing and lead generation agencies, it's coaching, real estate, lawyers, fitness, solopreneurs, and more. We did a lot of study. And I have a question. Is marketing and lead generation agencies are here? Okay. Is the coaching services are here? Any coaching? Nice. Then the real estate. Anyone does real estate? Okay. And then lawyers? No one. Okay. Lawyers, it's the lawyers' conferences. Fitness? Nice. And the solopreneurs. Cool. So everyone is here. Productized Brands works for every one of you. Let's start with the brands, like real quick. So here are McDonald's, Apple, Sony, DHL, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, IBM, whatsoever. You all know those. And those are the brands of the early 2010s. So normally there would be major players, TV and media coverage, massive presence, like cross-continental presence. And those were mostly brands that we ourselves were consuming back then. And there was no much variety of the others. So everyone was kind of consuming. It was like all about the mass market, whatever like your income is, whatever your preference is. It was just a few brands kind of. And then the internet simplified brand establishment for smaller companies. So in addition to other factors like economic shifts, demography, for example, like the whole younger generation came into play right now. I believe some of you who does recruiting now recruit like 20 years old. They are completely different. So I myself, I'm a millennial. I'm like almost 30, but there are like 2 other generations already that are on the market. And I mean, in case you're older, you have like 3, 4 generations that are younger than you, and you have to work for them. They are like, right now, the main buying power, And internet simplified brand establishment for smaller companies like Onepage and like you. And later you will understand why Onepage is pretty much similar as a brand to your companies. So this is how we got this. So it's the new modern brands, kind of brands of 2020s. And you see like this is marketing and Onepage in it. I mean, a little bit selfish. But all of those, what is important is that there was like no TV, no radio, no press, almost no press, no cross-continental presence. But then, even though they're like modern international brands and there are thousands of them that were produced, were established during the last 10 years. And was the internet changing as well over the time? I mean, since 2010s, all the way till now, yeah, it did a lot. It did a lot, even from 2019 when we started with Onepage. And this is how it was changing. In 2019, we were explaining internet and like this whole classic-ish funnel model, somehow like this, and it was true. So the way to acquire the customer was, you start with a click, then goes landing page, then conversion, and that sale. That easy. And it worked like this. It was enough to establish the simple landing page for anyone, run some PPC, get conversions, and then get sales. It is sufficient even right now, but it's not enough for those who want to grow intensively, want to grow faster, want to grow 10 times, 20 times per year. And here's what we have in the internet of 2020s, and it's a complete magic. So the model is somehow like this. First you get a click, and then the magic happens. Your potential customers starts to scroll social media to evaluate your brand, then compare and review, go into some websites, they do a research on you, and it's like mostly I mean, we do that. We do Google. I mean, we had a lot of scam in the past, so we want to know from where we are buying. And then like testing and validation, exploration, people are negotiating, asking to test, blah, blah, blah. So, and then there goes the sale. It might still work that you can generate the traffic, generate leads in, like this, but then if you have over 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 100,000 of traffic, believe me, it works like this already. So, Internet of 2023 is a chaotic cross-channel movement with tracking issues and postponed results. And by postponed results, I mean that sometimes we have a sale in like 30, 40, 90, 100 days after the initial contact. And for most of the like small to medium-sized businesses, it's already like this. It's like this for us in Onepage. So with some of you, we started to interact 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and you just became customers. So I can assure that 50% of the present today were actually purchasing and upgrading in Onepage after a while, after the initial contact, even though we had smart funnels and we had everything built according to the best marketing practices. So, and in addition to this, we have too many, like modern customer has too many offers to choose from. When I was first introduced to German market, it was like 2019. I was Googling, so we're like making first sketches of Onepage, validating whether we're a fit or not for the market. And I was Googling like almost every industry, like in German, obviously. So like real estate, coaching, like agency, I don't know, like physical products, whatsoever. And every time I faced really, really old websites. Like really old websites, no CDAs, no forms, not optimized at all. And I was like, okay, this is a golden mine. I mean, we can make it happen. So because, I mean, we can offer it to everyone. I mean, everyone on Google, everyone who's doing PPC, it's such a mess. If we came into the market with this kind of product, then we win it 100%. It's not like this anymore. Yesterday, I was Googling, I was doing the same thing, like I was Googling agency, real estate, coaching, whatsoever, whoever is present, and it's a really strong brands in here in PPC, like very convenient, almost in every industry. And that means that what's happening to the market, to the German market right now, and to most of the markets, depending on how strong the competition is. So the consumers are generally researching and comparing. I mean, only the least percentage will buy initially. I mean, small example, there was This Is Marketing. Who was to This Is Marketing? Okay, so then you remember the speech from Marcel. And he was pitching Onepage like really hard for 2 hours. He put best of his effort in, and we had a massive presence, the banners, the videos, and it was like an event from Marcel. Marcel was pitching, it was fully branded. Do you think we got many sales? nah, I mean, we got a few sales from this pitch, but then afterwards, in 30, 60, 90 days, they started to come finally, because people were evaluating. People are not buying. You cannot really force to buy a majority of people at the first attempt in your funnels, but then they will start to research and compare, and then if you are good enough, if your brand is good enough, if you have enough presence, they will be back and order from you, because people are not stupid anymore. And then the market is maturing, I think, and the competition is intensifying. Companies are building the brands. It's like a little bit long introduction, but then you will get the point. So I'm not like scaring you. For most of you, probably this kind of like intuitive, yeah, I understand, it's like competition, I understand this. But then it's still important to mention, to understand why service businesses are evolving and to what exactly they are evolving. So the competition intensifies. You're aware that you have strong competitors with bigger budgets, bigger brands than you. The tracking is regulated. This is like the recent problem, so you cannot be in charge anymore that much. I mean, no matter how good your analytics is, traffic is anonymized, so you spend more into the advertisement to get the same results, kind of. And who feels like it's like this for their companies? So the consumers are comparing, like market is maturing, competition intensifies, tracking is regulated, only for 2 people. No? Okay. And that's the reason why innovative service companies transform to some new models to win the competition, to get out of the competition, while the majority of companies get the least valuable customers. And here is my point. Your businesses can still get customers. The old model works. You will get one, your business will be successful, but if you want to grow, to get the best customers, the high-paying ones, the majority, to build your brands like to triple, to quadruple, to be multiplied by 10 this year, it's not enough. You have to do something different. Okay, this was the wrong slide. And then here's the checklist. So this is what the service companies are doing, including Onepage. Productize your services, outstand the competition. Okay, yeah, all right. It's like a little bit of a mess in the slides. So let's continue with the brand for a little bit. The word brand is kind of overused. So we hear this from everyone since like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Everyone is telling you have to build your brand. You have to build your brand. You have to like manage influencers, spread the word with blog posts, buy press, buy media, blah, blah, blah. But then to simplify all of this, it's not the definition of the brand. And very rarely we actually think of the definition of the brand. And for me to simplify, this is how I think of it for myself, is that your company provides some kind of emotion, or in case you're the service company, the expectance of this emotion before the purchase. And then your customer is basically voting with his wallet, so he's paying you a transaction in exchange for this emotion, as simple. And then, depending on this emotion, the margin can be different. So the brands altogether, for me, for myself, is a margin that your audience has a willing to pay for the emotion you provide. And this margin is different for you and for your competition. Very important. Service businesses try to get as close to a feeling of a physical product as possible, because physical products is what provides us with the best emotion. Physical products, I mean, we know what to expect when we buy a physical product. It doesn't make much time for us to evaluate whether we have to buy a physical product or not, because we know if we order this, it's gonna be the same as for the reviewer, for example, the same as on video that we've seen. And then historically, the service business is different. It actually sucks to build a service business brand, because service business isn't stable. When you say to someone, I'm gonna order something from an agency, there is a space for a negotiation, there is a space for a doubt. There might be some people that left, and the agency is not as good anymore, while it's not the same with the physical products. They are always the same, most of the time. So then, service businesses try to get as close to this feeling, and this is how the word productizing initially appeared. So this is for this, and physical products provides the best emotion, as I said. And here is probably the most important thing and the most important trend which I wanted to explain. So if we're thinking of productization of services, the least productized would be a freelancer. The least of the margin, the least of the emotion, so it's a freelancer. Then there is an agency service. It's kind of different, but not that much different. So it's also unstable, unpredictable sometimes, depending on the brand and the agency themselves. Then there is a productized service, which we'll learn to build in next section. And then there is a software. So the software, like we in Onepage, is actually the most productized version of a service that you could ever imagine, because the software, it's a self-service. The software is almost like a physical product. That's why it's even called the software product. And there is like a lot of factors that are connected to it, and that's why this is also very interesting. I was working with agencies in Ukraine a lot, and I was working with agencies in US a lot. And both Ukraine and US, well, with an exchange rate, the economy, are highly competitive market, like really competitive and like really fast in developing in innovation, because you're sitting here, you probably are aware of like 3, 5, 10 of your competitors. Every Ukrainian or like US business has like 100 of competitors in their city. That's where they are competitive, they build stuff fast. And time changed, I'm not in the agency industry anymore. It's like 5, 6 years past. Almost all of the agencies I knew are right now either the software or a productized service in Ukraine and in the US. While we are building the software in Onepage, it's like really, really expensive. It's not for everyone, and it's really hard, and it's easy to fail. The productized service is almost for everyone. I mean, there is like a lot of gain for very little pain. So let's take a look at some examples and then go vice versa. So productized services examples. Marketing and agency stuff. Take a look at this. It's like video testimonials that close deals faster. Pretty important notice. Even though there are a lot of productized services in Onepage already, in respect to your privacy, we're not showcasing too many examples. So all of the examples are kind of external, created by someone. So, and there are links. Video testimonials that close deals faster. That's the offer. Then website by tonight. The easiest, most affordable way to launch a simple and professional websites. Our lead designers build your website live as you watch and give feedback via the screen share. Then one of my favorite ones, the King Khan. It's like totally unique and backwards way to double very US-ish one, but it works. I will get further, and then we'll get back and we'll discuss each of those. Then the Osomic, get daily high-end design done with Osomic. Some of the recruiting ones. This is from Onepage. So it's recruiting for IT tech consulting something, and there is a system. Let's remotivate. It's the recruiting for executives in the US. You will get the recording. You can like click all the links. Then the best Shopify developers and experts is like a hiring also. Then coaching and ad tech. It's skillsetter.io. It's like a completely automated courses for certain professions on how to get a profession from zero to something. And it's very interesting if you like go in and check their experience afterwards, after this workshop probably. Then the Genius Space, also the same stuff. Then the real estate, can't read it, but I'm pretty sure it's an automated one. I was translating it. It's from Onepage also. Then the Makukhin, I believe it is like a real estate evaluation service, starts with a quiz. Fitness, this is also very interesting, like completely automated fitness with very smart programs in my opinion, so my wife is actually participating in this. And many more. All the examples are service businesses that got very close to a feeling of a product, system, or a software. Like Onepage, blah, blah. Okay, it's not integrated, so wait a second. It's integrated in the wrong. Okay, here are the differences. So there are normal services. They are intangible. If you don't know the world, it's no feeling before the purchase. It's hard to understand. What do I get before the purchase? then they are based on the individual team skill. So you have a really experienced employee, he or she leaves, what do you do? I mean, the quality of your services drops off, and most of the good customers are aware of it. Then there is a maximum interaction. So it's like you book a call, then there is a negotiation process, like really long one, then there are several touch points, then there is a contract, and then finally in like 3-4 months you start or something like this. Then the quality is difficult to compare. So there are many, many agencies. I assure you that if you would log into, for example, some Ogilvy, like Ogilvy agency, for example, the world famous known chain of the agencies, and then you will compare it to your website, the quality will be difficult to compare. I mean, they will look more professional, but then what do you get? It's like business optimization, digitalization, marketing automation, and everyone's claiming the same kind of. And then they can have hidden advantages, like my Ogilvy example. So obviously, Ogilvy is stronger than anyone in the room. But then, I mean, it's hard to understand from the website. It's hard to understand before the purchase. It's hard to understand before the initial contact. And then there are productized services. So they're tangible. You can feel it. It's like a very, very simple offer, but then it looks like a product in all of its senses we're going through. They can be separated from a creator because the service is so automated, so process-oriented, no matter who's in your team, or you did it that way that everyone is easily replaceable, your customer is actually getting the same experience. Then there is minimal to no interaction, so it's either like a small call or even no call, like a completely self-service solution. Then the quality is relatively stable because of all these factors, and then the value is immediately clear. And let's really quickly go through all those previous examples and just make a checklist. So, video testimonials that close deals faster. Is this tangible? Can you feel it? I mean, you don't see the whole website, but I can assure you it is, because they would produce the same testimonials, like same color grade, same quality for everywhere, and they have hundreds of testers. So you can really like look and you can imagine like you're in there and what you're buying. So it's very easy to understand, so they are tangible. Then, is the quality stable? Based on the amount of testimonials and based on that they're using like the same equipment and they have a system, yes, the quality is pretty much stable, and it can be separated from the creator because, I mean, there is no personal brand attached to it. It's just a company and it does stuff. So they claim video testimonials that close deals faster, that's it. So it's not like Mark someone does the video testimonials for you that close deals faster, but who knows if he leaves. And then what is another? Okay. Yeah, and the interaction. So the interaction is only a strategy session. It's like just one call. Then you receive a couple of emails, then the team arrives to you, and then it's set. So it's all completely automated. So it's check. Then this website by tonight thing. So it's the easiest, most affordable way to launch simple and professional websites. Elite designers build your website. Process-oriented. They claim they have a variety of designers, also like hundreds of testers, example of pages that they built. They are not hiding this. Clear pricing packages, clear timing. That's it. It's tangible. You can feel it. It's also like separated from the creator because not you doing this, someone doing this, and you just have a process. And then I'm always forgetting what is the third one. Okay, yeah, interaction. Also like just one call and that's it. One call and that's it. Same for this one. Here, it's like also pretty smart. So what they would do is that they actually connect you, and they claim this. So they connect you with the designers. It's all the time different. And this designer is kind of for a pricing package, a subscription model, like in Onepage, for example. You get a designer who works for you the whole month, and you have like 20, 50, 100 design requests, and they claim you can see his work like real time, which is pretty easy with tools like Figma. It's not a software, but it says book a demo. It's an agency, but it's book a demo. So they would act like it's software without being so. It's a complete no-code production. So you can trust them. Also a lot of testers, and it's automated, tangible, all the criteria are met. Here, also pretty interesting. So it's a recruiting. A lot of you do recruiting actually, but this is like the smartest video that I've seen so far. Like this guy has the smartest video. So what he does is that he explains in details, in depth, like for 20 minutes, what exactly he does in recruiting. So he doesn't actually say it in a mysterious way. So we will recruit you someone, but you will never understand how. He explains the same process, like the whole process, and then he explains why he's the best for it, because he's kind of invented it. I mean, it might be that many of you are more professional than him, have a better results, but it's for me, like for a person who is also dealing with recruiting, because we obviously recruit people, for a business owner, that was really interesting. I would vote for this guy because it's also like IT tech related, all this kind of stuff. So if I would know German, I would definitely contact him, because I mean, he explained it. In my eyes, it's like if he explained to me the whole process, probably he has so much more in his system that I can trust him. I mean, this guy is really smart. Then the executive, you can check it out later. I know like a little of it, only that they have like pricing packages and process also. Then the store tasker, also pretty smart. So it's kind of that they experiment with this model of hiring a developer. So they would underline what are the most oftenly repeatable tasks that Shopify store owners has to deal with, and they come up with very smart pricing plans based on that. And they are also like very clear and very visible. You can see how many interactions do we have, and so on and so on. All right, so to make it short, here is like, I really recommend you, but it's in Ukrainian, but you can translate it with the widget. So I do really recommend you to try out their free course. It's like, they educate people. So it's like for everyone who's in coaching, they would educate people, but the whole education program is a chatbot. So, I mean, they sell a chatbot basically with a variety of branches, so like thousands of them, and they are very, very successful. And it turns out that it's actually possible that people buy a chatbot kind of education and then get a real profession out of it. So I personally hired a guy who like went through these courses, and I can say that the level of quality is amazing. Even though, and they also claim they're a software, well, they are not. And this one, okay, so the real estate, like real quick, this one is also interesting. So they would evaluate your property, kind of automated. It's not, but it's also like all the same stuff. All right, so here, luckily, Onepage has a lot to help you productize in your business, and what we don't have will appear this year. So during my second speech, I will tell you, so why did we pick this angle? What are the features that are coming? And even though we'll be going through the checklist one by one, I will be showing you some features that are either coming shortly or this year, so that will help you to keep this angle with us, kind of. So for the same, it's like, for those who are new to Onepage, so for the same subscription that you have right now, for the same price, we strive that you always get more. So we're kind of really intensive into development. Those who bought Onepage 1.0 3 years ago can prove that, because it was a different product. Okay, and we discuss details during my next section, because I'm over the time. Thanks you for listening. Was it?